ball was dropping in Times Square. Millions cheering as 2025 ticked into 2026. Fireworks exploded overhead, champagne popped, strangers kissed at midnight, and resolutions filled the air like confetti. Everyone was celebrating fresh starts, new beginnings, letting go of the past. But at exactly 12:01 a.m., when the cheers faded and the hangovers began, something shifted in the shadows. These are 5 true New Year's Eve horror stories that will ruin your countdown, real accounts from people who thought midnight was magical until it became a nightmare. From the stranger who whispered their darkest secrets during the countdown, to the party where the fireworks hid screams, to the Home Alone encounter that started with a knock no one else heard, these stories prove New Year's Eve isn't always about hope. My name is Olivia Grant. I'm 27, and last New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2024, I went to Times Square with a group of friends. It was my first time there for the ball drop. We'd been planning it for months, bundled up in coats, scarves, gloves, holding hot cocoa from the street vendor, waiting in the freezing crowd for hours. The energy was electric, people singing, counting down, phones up, recording everything. Strangers hugging, kissing, crying happy tears. It felt magical. We were packed shoulder to shoulder near the center, right in front of the big screens. Around 11:55 p.m., the countdown started, 10 minutes to go. Everyone was shouting, jumping, the lights flashing red, gold, silver. That's when I felt it. Someone standing directly behind me, too close. Not just crowded close, but pressed against my back. I tried to shift forward, but there was no room. The person didn't move with me. Just stayed there, solid. I glanced over my shoulder, but all I saw was a sea of faces, hats, scarves, glowing phones. No one looking at me. Then the voice, low, right in my ear, male, calm, almost gentle. "Olivia, you still haven't told your mom about the money you borrowed last summer, have you?" My blood turned to ice. I spun around fully this time. No one was looking at me. Everyone was facing the screen, counting down. 8 minutes. The crowd roared. I grabbed my friend Mia's arm. "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" she yelled over the noise. The voice again, closer, breath on my neck. "And that fight with your sister on Christmas? She's still waiting for you to apologize. You won't, though. You never do." My heart slammed against my ribs. I pushed backward, elbowing people, trying to get space. No one reacted. The countdown kept going. 7 minutes! I screamed at Mia. "Someone's behind me. They know my name." Mia turned. "Liv, it's packed." Everyone's yelling, "Relax." But the voice didn't stop. "You think you're starting fresh tonight? Resolutions won't fix what you did to Ryan. He's still got those messages. The ones you begged him to delete. Ryan was my ex. We broke up in October. I'd sent some desperate texts after the split, things I regretted. I'd never told anyone the details. Not even Mia. I started shoving forward harder, tears freezing on my cheeks. The crowd was a wall. I couldn't move. My name is Ethan Morales. I'm 31, and for New Year's Eve 2024, my girlfriend Sophia and I decided to stay in our high-rise apartment in downtown Miami instead of going out. We had a perfect view of the city fireworks from our 22nd floor balcony, better than any street party. We set up blankets, wine, snacks, turned on the TV for the countdown, and planned a quiet, romantic night. Around 11:30 p.m., the pre-show fireworks started lighting up the skyline. We stepped out onto the balcony, the cool night air mixing with the distant booms and cheers from below. Sophia leaned against the railing, phone in hand, recording the colors exploding over Biscayne Bay. That's when I noticed something odd. Across the street, in the building directly facing ours about 50 yards away, there was a balcony with its lights off. Dark, but in the flashes of fireworks, I caught a silhouette, tall, standing still, facing our direction. I pointed it out to Sophia. "Look, someone's on that balcony watching the show." She squinted. "Yeah, probably. Lots of people have views like ours." But the figure didn't move. Not during the flashes, not when the sky went dark between bursts, just standing, hood up, hands in pockets. We went back inside for more wine. When we came out again at 11:50, the figure was still there. Same spot, same pose. Sophia laughed nervously. Creepy. Think they're alone, I shrugged. Maybe they're just enjoying the view. But as the countdown began 10 minutes to midnight, the fireworks intensified. Bright reds, golds, blues flashing every few seconds. Each burst lit up the opposite balcony like a strobe. And every time the light hit, the figure was closer. Not moving fast, not walking, just closer. Like the darkness between fireworks was swallowing the distance. At 5 minutes, Sophia grabbed my arm. Ethan, he's not there anymore, I looked. The balcony was empty. Relief washed over me. Probably went inside. Good riddance. But then Sophia whispered, no. Look down. On the street below 22 stories down, people were cheering, but the figure was now on our building's street level. Hood up, standing under a street lamp. Looking straight up at our balcony. The fireworks exploded again, massive ones now, lighting the entire sky. In the flash, the figure was gone from the street. Gone. We froze. Sophia's phone was still recording. 3 minutes! The TV blared. We backed inside, sliding the balcony door shut, locking it, hearts pounding. 2 minutes. The fireworks were deafening, now boom after boom, colors painting the windows red and gold, then scratch. A soft scraping sound from the balcony door. Like fingernails dragging down glass, slow, deliberate, Sophia whispered, Ethan, the balcony is 22 floors up. No one can climb that. I grabbed a kitchen knife from the counter. We stood in the living room, staring at the door. The scraping stopped. Silence, then the TV hit 0. The ball dropped, on screen. Cheers erupted from the city below. Fireworks went nuclear sky full of light. And in that blinding flash through the glass door, I saw him standing on our balcony. Hood low, face in shadow, hands pressed to the glass, not knocking, not trying to break in, just watching, smiling. The fireworks ended. Darkness returned. He was gone. We didn't sleep that night. We stayed up, lights on, knives in hand, until sunrise. The next morning we checked the balcony, no footprints. No marks on the glass, nothing, but Sophia's phone video, the one she recorded all night, had one extra frame. At exactly 12 hours, 0 minutes, and 1 second a.m., during the peak of the fireworks burst, the camera caught it. A reflection in the glass door, not ours. His face. Close enough that the hood was almost touching the lens. Eyes wide open, staring straight into the camera. And underneath, scratched faintly into the frost on the outside glass, the kind you can't see from inside. Happy New Year, Ethan. We moved out 2 weeks later. And every New Year's Eve since, when fireworks start, I keep the curtains closed. Because sometimes in the flashes between booms, I swear I see a silhouette on the balcony across the street, watching, waiting for the countdown to end. My name is Ryan Keller. I'm 29, and on New Year's Eve 2024, I was alone in my apartment in Seattle. My ex-girlfriend, Claire, had passed away 8 months earlier in a car accident. We'd broken up 6 months before that, messy, painful, full of things left unsaid. I never deleted her number. I couldn't. Sometimes I'd stare at our old texts, the ones from when things were good. That night I stayed in, no party, no friends. Just me, a bottle of whiskey, and the TV on mute showing the countdown from New York. The city outside my window was quiet, train tapping the glass, distant fireworks muffled by the clouds. I poured another drink and scrolled through old photos on my phone, feeling the usual ache. At 11:58 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Claire's number. Happy New Year, Ryan. Miss you. I stared at the screen. Heart stopped. I knew it wasn't possible. Her phone had been destroyed in the crash. Her family had confirmed it. This had to be a glitch, a hack, someone cruel using her old SIM or spoofing the number. I typed back, hands shaking. Who is this? Stop. No reply. The countdown on TV. 2 minutes. Another buzz. I never got to say goodbye. Do you remember the promise we made? That if anything happened, we'd find a way back? My stomach dropped. That promise we'd said it half joking one night after too much wine? If one of us dies, the other has to come back and haunt them? Deal? We laughed. It wasn't funny anymore. I replied, this isn't funny. Who are you? Buzz, check the balcony. I froze. My apartment is on the 14th floor. Balcony door locked, curtains drawn. I stood up slowly, walked to the door, pulled the curtain aside an inch. Outside in the rain, under the glow of distant fireworks, a figure stood on the balcony. Hood up, face hidden, phone in hand, screen glowing blue. My phone buzzed again. I'm here. Open the door. I backed away. Dropped the phone. It kept buzzing message after message. I'm cold, Ryan. You left me alone that night. You never came to the funeral. I waited for you. I ran to the bedroom, slammed the door, locked it, curled up in the corner. The TV countdown hit 0. Fireworks boomed outside loud, celebratory, then silence. No more texts, no more buzzes. I waited until morning. When the sun came up, I checked the balcony. Empty. Wet from rain, no footprints. No sign anyone had been there, but my phone, the messages were gone. All of them. Like they'd never existed. I took the phone to the carrier store the next day. They checked the logs. No incoming text from Claire's number on New Year's Eve. Not at midnight. Not ever since her death. I changed my number that week, deleted every photo, moved to a new apartment. But every New Year's Eve at exactly 11:58 p.m., my old phone, now in a drawer, powered off, lights up. One message from her. Happy New Year, Ryan. I'm still waiting. I don't open it anymore. I just wait for the year to pass and pray the next midnight doesn't bring her closer. My name is Mia Chun. I'm 25, and for New Year's Eve 2024, my friends and I rented a big old house in the suburbs of Atlanta for a private party. It was one of those massive Victorian homes, 3 stories, wraparound porch, huge living room with a grand fireplace. The owner lived out of state and rented it on Airbnb for events. We were a group of 8, music, drinks, snacks, string lights, and a plan to count down to midnight on the rooftop terrace. We arrived around 8 p.m. The house was already decorated. Someone had left Christmas lights up, which we loved. A stocked bar, even a few party favors. The owner had texted, "Help yourselves. Happy New Year. I'll be back in January." Everything felt perfect. By 11 p.m., the music was loud, everyone dancing, laughter echoing through the empty rooms. We'd explored the whole place, basement game room, upstairs bedrooms, even the attic with old trunks. No one else was there. Just us. At 11:45 p.m., we all gathered in the living room for the final countdown. TV on, Times Square feed playing. We linked arms, ready to scream, "Happy New Year!" That's when we heard it, a soft laugh. Not from any of us, coming from upstairs. We froze. The music was still playing, but the laugh cut through it, low, amused, like someone watching us from the shadows. One of my friends, Jake, turned down the volume. "Did you hear that?" Another laugh, closer this time, from the hallway above the staircase. We looked up. The upstairs landing was dark, but in the glow of the string lights we saw movement. A shadow passing behind the banister. Someone whispered, "Hello? Who's there?" No answer, just footsteps now, slow, deliberate, coming down the stairs. Thud, thud, thud. We backed toward the front door. Phones out, flashlights on, the footsteps stopped halfway down. Then a voice, female, soft, almost sweet. "You're all here, just like I wanted." My heart slammed. We hadn't invited anyone else. The house was supposed to be empty. Jake yelled, "This isn't funny, come down." The voice laughed again right above us now. I've been waiting all year for this party. We bolted. Ran out the front door into the cold night, piling into cars, driving away as fast as we could. We called the police from the road. They arrived 20 minutes later, searched the house top to bottom. Nothing. No one inside. No signs of forced entry. Doors locked from the inside. Windows shut. The owner confirmed via text. No one else has access. I changed the code last week. We went back the next morning, January 1st, to get our stuff. The house looked the same. Lights still on, music off. But in the living room on the coffee table where we'd left our drinks, 8 champagne glasses, all filled to the brim. We'd only brought 6 bottles. And in each glass, floating at the bottom, was a small folded note. We pulled them out with shaking hands. Each note was the same, handwritten in elegant cursive. Happy New Year, my guests. Thank you for the party. I enjoyed watching you all. See you next year. The house, we left everything behind, never went back. The owner sold the house 6 months later. Said it was too much maintenance. But every New Year's Eve since, at exactly 11:45 p.m., my phone buzzes with an unknown number. One message. Party starts soon, don't be late. I never reply. I just turn off the lights and hope the house doesn't find another group to invite. My name is Noah Patel. I'm 33, married with a 3-year-old daughter, Ava. For New Year's Eve 2024, we decided to stay home in our quiet suburban house outside Boston. No big party, just the 3 of us, pajamas, a Disney countdown special on TV, and a promise to Ava that she could stay up until midnight to see the ball drop. We were in the living room, blankets piled on the couch, popcorn everywhere. Ava was excited, clapping every time fireworks popped on screen. My wife, Priya, and I were counting down with her. At exactly 12, the TV erupted in cheers. Fireworks lit up the sky outside. We hugged, kissed, said Happy New Year. Ava squealed and threw confetti we'd made from paper. Then, 1 minute later, 12:01, came the knock. 3 slow, heavy knocks on the front door. We all froze. The house was dark except for the TV glow and string lights on the tree. Outside was pitch black, snow falling lightly. No one comes to our door at midnight on New Year's Eve. No neighbors would knock that late. Friends had texted Happy New Year already. Priya whispered, "Who could that be?" I checked the Ring camera on my phone. The porch light was on motion activated, but the porch was empty. No one standing there, no footprints in the fresh snow, just the empty walkway. The knocks came again, same rhythm, same spot. Ava looked scared. "Daddy, someone's here." I stood up slowly. "Stay here with Mommy, I'll check." I grabbed a baseball bat from the closet. We kept one after a break-in scare last year and walked to the door. Through the peephole, nothing, empty porch. I called out, "Who's there?" Silence. Then the voice low, calm, right on the other side of the door. "Happy New Year, Noah. Open up." "It's time." My blood ran cold. I knew that voice. It was my father's. My father had died 5 years ago. Heart attack. I was at his bedside when he passed. I'd heard his last words, "Take care of them, son." And never opened the door after midnight on New Year's. He'd said it half joking, an old family superstition from India. I'd forgotten it until now. The knocks came a 3rd time, slower, more insistent. Priya called from the living room, "Noah, is everything okay?" I didn't answer. I backed away from the door, bat shaking in my hands. The voice again clearer, almost pleading. "I just want to see Ava. She's grown so much. Let me in, son." Ava's name. He said her name. I ran back to the living room, grabbed Priya and Ava, and we huddled in the corner. The knocks continued, slow, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. We didn't sleep. The knocks went on for hours, fading only around 3 a.m. when the snow stopped. Morning came, sunlight, no footprints on the porch, no sign anyone had been there. But when I checked the Ring footage later, one frame glitched exactly at 12:01 a.m. In that frozen second, a figure stood on the porch, tall, in a familiar old coat my father used to wear. Face shadowed. Hand raised to knock. And on the glass of the door, scratched faintly into the frost, visible only in the flash of a nearby firework. "See you next year, son." We moved 6 months later. New house. New number, new everything. But every New Year's Eve at 12:01 a.m., the same 3 knocks come, not on the door anymore. Inside my head, soft, patient, waiting for me to answer.